So nature is the art with which God governs the universe, and this exists within His divine love. We are an expression of His divine love, and I believe, or rather I know, that the ultimate perfection of God's nature is humankind. Therefore, we must strive for authenticity within ourselves. And this is my journey and me sharing my experience with yourselves. So seeing as we're making videos and we're recording what Shepherd is up to, this includes my morning routine, which is a rigorous routine, by the way. I do it every morning, no matter what. It's caused a lot of difficulties in the beginning with many people, but people have come to understand that, I don't devote myself to much other than my routine. It's you can say it's rich, it's religious, but it's more of a personal ritual to me. And yeah, it makes me function, it aligns me, and it regulates and grounds me. And yeah, it involves multiple things, from like different types of yoga. They're all things that I've probably seen from outside, but they are things that I got to do, that I started putting together, to whether it was to help my muscle sorenesses from overworking, from sitting in wrong positions, or from just sheer stress. Breathing, which has helped me with so many things like anxiety, controlling, controlling how I do things. Breathing plays a huge part. I can get into this and talk about breathing for hours, but we won't. And most importantly, let me put the camera this way. Sorry. So I haven't recorded in forever, and but yeah, now I feel it's the time to share. I have a lot of experience. A lot of people for the longest time have told me to share and put stuff out there, and I have done. People have helped me. A close friend of mine, dear friend of mine, wanted me to get into music, because I love to sing and I love to make music. And yeah, when I'm in tune, lyrics come out, and I just discover, as I say, it's not me. I discover lyrics, or I discover music, and the whole thing synthesizes in my brain or in my dreams, and I wake up sometimes hours writing things and putting the tune together and stuff. But that's just flow state. That's just who you are as a vessel, how pure you are, how pure your heart is. And I'll get a little more into myself and make it brief, and we will talk about this in more depth, I guess. But like many things, like I'm deeply in love with a girl, but I chose to be celibate after having, gotten into the relationship, which caused difficulties. People have needs, and it's caused me multiple difficulties, the fear of loss, and having to accept that love isn't about holding on. That you have to, learn to love and to trust, but it's including this fasting. We as what we think as humans, what we think we are, who is I, is it's not always what it looks like to you or to others or on the surface. And this takes a while to discover. Authenticity is not something you find, it's something you continuously, every day you must walk in that path, because we as a species, think of us as a huge organism. There are no labels for this, and the more we label it, actually, it kind of diminishes the power of how we are connected. Like it's like quantum, I guess, physics. The more we observe it, we mess with things. But for me, my personal experience, from what I need to share with everyone, is that to find this authentic person we are, and there's nothing stable, because I grew up in London. I used to speak like yo cuz, yo fam. Like I used to be, some people would look at me and say, oh, you're a sellout or whatever. But no, I went through change. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that people that don't change, that stay real to themselves, aren't real. No, I feel like, in fact, I know this from personal experience, that people that are living through that level of struggle and are willing to risk a certain level of, even risk their life rather for a living, are more passionate people. And I admire that. And I've seen people that can grow out of that, become even more. And more doesn't mean to have something physical, but something more to the world, as in a nuanced way. Like, this is what I'm trying to achieve here, and this is what I will be achieving rather here. It's faith. You can say faith is based on God, or religion, but now I don't want to get into my roots of where I come from. I'm Kurdish Alavi, I'm Anatolian Alavi, very different to a little more of the eastern side, but our belief system is very old. For one, we haven't written much about it for many reasons. There's a lot of bad stuff happened to our people. I won't get into politics, but I get it. Like, where it's based on harmony, nature, and the cosmic balance of things, and it's based on morality and social morality. And that's why I'm doing this. I'm doing this for the sake of, I work at a bar. There's a lot of interference with multiple people, and I don't have enough time. In the beginning, let's get into this, that I don't have enough time for each individual person, because I'm serving. I used to get in trouble for it, but now this is a way for me to share that experience. The idea is to put it out there and to make something of what I have come to be. My self striving for authenticity and sharing experience. And yes, like celibacy has taught me, I did get sidetracked, but celibacy has taught me, I'm a man, yes, we naturally have a strong desire for. I used to, desire a woman. I've never been much of a womanizer. I've never really been, I've always been very sensitive, more of a romantic, loving person. But nonetheless, even in that idea, there's some skewed version of what we think love is, because we don't know what love is. Love is also one of those incredibly mystical experiences where it's a phenomenon where the only love that makes sense is the one that doesn't make sense. So yes, again, in the way I see things, is the divine exists within the paradoxes, and love is one of those. And that is a part of your morality, and that is that two that becoming one is a big thing. And at times where you believe that it's something, I had to sacrifice that and still go through the fears. Like just last night, I'm going for my 12th day of fast. I haven't eaten anything in 12 days. I've been working, I've been doing volunteer jobs. I still do including in my rituals, I still do certain exercises which are more curated around getting rid of my hunchback and breathing. So I do like abs, do some back, shoulders, and upper back and neck. And by the way, you don't need one of those neck things. I have one of those stretchy things I tie into my door. It does the same thing. What I mean is, if there's a will, there's a way. And authenticity kind of thrives into allowing you to have that will more. So the celibacy helped me with not, breaking free from the how we objectify humans and ourselves within that. So it clears that ego into a more streamlined you without that weight. And then fasting helps you break free from most desires. Gluttony is probably one of our biggest sins. We eat for desire. We're continuously fulfilling the desire by eating. And first 7 days, cravings crazy. 9, the 10th day, even like yesterday, cravings have died down a bit, but like 9th day was, my cravings were immense. Like I'm looking up all sorts of places that I want to eat, adding it onto my list, or as soon as I'm done fasting, I'm going here. Oof. Fulfill that desire, and what? It just doesn't stop. Like, it's taught me to see food as, yeah, I can reward myself, but are you listening to your body, what it needs? Are you eating what you need? Can you hear that language that your body speaks to you? It's important, man. If we can open up our hearts and be strong enough to see when we find ourselves when we find and understand ourselves, we understand the divine. That we are the perfect creation of nature. Labeling, mystifying things, sure, keep it to yourself. As I said, like, miracles happen. If I had to make a video on the stuff that I believe that are miracles, and people have witnessed it next to me, I have stuff written, it will diminish. I'll be nothing, but it doesn't mean that they didn't happen. But what will happen is you're trying to somewhat commodify and materialize something that's not supposed to be materialized. This is supposed to be experience, can be materialized, but it's not the mystical experience that's supposed to be materialized. I believe the experience that's supposed to be shared is the one that's more human, because we're all superheroes and gods in our own way. Listen, nothing to the divine, no disrespect, but we are made in that image, and how pure this is and how this then connects to this are reason we need to live through experience. And I'm going to be here to share and hopefully help. And it's not going to be easy. It's like me taking a plunge. It's in the minuses again today in Toronto, and I haven't eaten for over 11 days. And yeah, I'm going to record myself taking another plunge. I have to put these huge ice blocks in there, which you can see I have no idea how many ounces there are, but I put those. I've used 4. I have 6. I don't have enough space. I don't want to take up everyone's space in the fridge, but I put those in there when I go out, because I go out twice in the morning, do my rituals. One is I do these circles and I do these moves. Apparently, according to one of my friends, Paul, older man in his late 60s, it's almost like Tai Chi, but I speak to the elements. I use some ancient words that my ancestors use, and I do circles, and I touch and I feel with the words before I even say them. And interesting things happen. Sometimes the sun comes out and I absorb that, and every day it's brand new. But while I'm doing that, which is about half an hour, 40 minutes ago, I put the ice in there. I let it settle in, stir in, cools down the water. It's probably close to 0 anyway, probably like 1-2 degrees, but with the ice in there it's obviously a lot colder. But yeah, I'll record myself, or once I go in there, I'll press record. Let me see. Where is the most ideal spot for this? Okay. So once the time is right, I shall press record. I'm just going to do my Wim Hof now. I believe breathing is important to get the oxygen going and to put yourself. Wim Hof kind of resets how you breathe deep. So I love, much love for Wimmy. You've done it. You figured it out, mate. Your technique taught me how to tumo, and I tweaked it up a little. Hope you're okay with that, but I guess that's what you were doing it for. It's a virtuous thing. But yes, I'll say this once before I close and record another. Knowledge without virtue is useless. I did my 3 sets of Wim Hof. 30 breaths in. Deep in. Not too much on the exhale. So light on the exhale. And now, I don't usually wear a hat. Today's extremely windy, and I think this whole winter, this is probably my 4th time wearing a hat, and I've done it every day. I think I've skipped 2 days where, and these were in between work and having like short sleeps because I had to wake up early for work or for church or some other voluntary job that I take part in. But we're about to go in. So as you can see, I've lost a lot of fat. I've even lost visceral fat, which is how I gain my fat a lot of the time. It's always around the belly. My warm-up routine is pretty interesting as well. I listen to music while I'm doing some breathing exercises that allow your soul to be free. You know, this is how you ignite your flame. Your authentic self is what ignites your flame. So let's go in this plunge and have you guys watch us. I have the timer. I usually do 5 minutes, but I have it set on 6. And I'll go and feel. Because I'm fasting, I don't want to put in my mind that I have to do 5. I'm like, I'll do 2. It's a good reset. Everyone does that. And if I feel I can go more, I'll look at it. I won't even try to look at the timer. The idea is to focus on your breathing. The idea is to, as I say, to do nada. The idea is to find that stillness. flame. To find that stillness within the flame. Yeah? Yeah, let's do this.